We are influencers now.
Are we?
Yeah, we influence dozens of people.
Dozens.
This is the Apparently Autistic podcast,
Where we unmask the spectrum
with real voices.
and real experiences.
We're your hosts, Keith Holloway,
And Bridget Holloway.
and I am apparently autistic. Before we get started, just a quick reminder. We're not experts in anything except our own personal experiences and perspectives.
Be sure to check out the important disclaimers and disclosures in the show notes.
Now let's dive in. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Apparently Autistic podcast.
We'll call it a quasi-episode.
Quasi-episode.
Kind of an episode.
Hold on. A dwarf episode. Like a dwarf planet.
Okay.
It's a scientific thing.
I can see it.
It's not anything else.
Yeah, okay. Well, once you compared it to a planet, I figured it was scientific. I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but you redeemed yourself. Anyways, welcome. And we're just checking in this week real quick. We have a short episode to bring you. It's been the 4th of July week, and we spent some extra time with our family and kind of just did some rest and recovery and family stuff on the side. So kind of taking the holiday off.
It's kind of common for podcasts and stuff like that to just like repost a previous episode on holiday weeks so they can take the holiday off. But this is like only our 13th episode.
Yeah. So we're just doing a quick check-in and then we will be...
Is this 13?
Oh!
That's our lucky 13 episode.
Okay. Next week has to be official 13. And we have to do something special for that.
So this is 12.5.
Anybody who doesn't know, 13 is our lucky number. We met on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
So that's just a quick recap. But we'll go more into that next week.
Yes. So welcome to episode 12.5.
12.5. I like it. Our 4th of July episode. Yeah, we just wanted to check in real quick and bring you a little tidbit of a morsel of. Yeah,
we wanted to do a little something, and because we didn't want to just be like, hey, here we are, see ya. So I came up with this idea to talk about like tech ideas that can help neurodivergent people.
A couple recent tech things that he's found that have been either helpful or things that he thought might be helpful have been helpful in his life. So we just kind of wanted to touch on what are the two?
Yeah, we're just going to talk about two of them. Yeah. And the first one is ChatGPT.
Yep.
Started using that when we started working on the podcast and stuff. It's really good for like brainstorming ideas sometimes. I
think it's funny because you hear AI and I've always been like, oh, I don't need AI to do stuff for me. And I just kind of have been playing around with it a little bit myself too. And it's actually quite helpful. I would caution everybody to always read through what it gives you and vet your sources and make decisions for yourself. Obviously, don't let it do your thinking for you or become less of who you are because of it. It doesn't need to take your life over, but it can be a helpful tool if you use it the right ways. Yeah. So helping you in wording things, helping you in, like you said, brainstorming ideas, complicated math problems, just things that you might need a little boost with.
So like some things that I'll use it for usually when I'm working on an episode, I'll have ChatGPT like write the description of the episode. I'll have it brainstorm episode titles. And even when it does that, usually I like mix and match some of I don't think it's ever like given me a full title and I went, I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah.
But it gives you ideas because we all know, especially as autistic people, it's the hardest time to think about something is when you're trying to think about it.
Yeah. Like, you just hit this freeze moment.
So I'll use it for that. And then I use it for like personal posts too. I'll basically say, this is what I want to say. Now put it into words that, sound good.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's kind of fun because it kind of interacts with you. It's like, okay, this is what I've got for that. How do you feel about it? Do you want me to do this or would you want more of this? I was doing kind of like a scenario-based question with it yesterday about pay raises and, what the time payoff is for certain things. And it said, do you want me to make a chart? And I said, sure, let's make a chart. Let's see what that looks like. So it just kind of gives you ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought of on your own. And useful tool, but obviously to be used as a tool, not a replacement for anything.
Yeah. Exactly. And some of the things that I think, a lot of people have issues with AI, particularly when people use it to like create art or something like that. AI, I think, it should be utilized to do the things that either are really difficult for us to do or just like monotonous or things that we, takes up our time that we don't want to do, so that people are free to do things like create art and whatever.
Yeah.
So I have used AI to create like a quick image to go along with my post and
The
stuff.
images always have something wrong with them. One
Yeah.
time I had 3 hands.
Yeah.
So you got to
And if you
proceed with caution on that.
if you ask it to make an image that has too much text in it, it's going to misspell things. It's weird. I don't understand it, but
that's fine. Like, we can create our own stuff,
Yeah.
but it's good for ideas regardless. And
one thing that I have been using it for lately on my personal posts is having it imagine what a historical figure would have to say about modern day issues.
it
So that's kind of interesting
uses
too.
their cadence and the
Mhm.
words that they would have said
Yep.
to phrase what you want them to say. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's all tools.
And the other thing that I've used it for lately is like analyzing our stats for our podcast, like what kind of money we should be spending on ads in order to basically break even.
Yeah.
Like to cover our costs of the podcast. Nope, that's not. To cover our costs of the podcast.
That's pretty good.
But yeah. That's
a fun tool.
Yeah.
Something you can play around with and use.
There's
I've
like a
even
free
seen
version of it, and
Yeah.
then there's like a paid version. I actually have the monthly paid version.
I've been using the free one, so you can also ask it things like, this is a scenario that came up. How would you approach this? And then you can read through suggestions of how it would approach it and be like, yeah, but I feel differently about this.
Yeah.
How should I approach it? Or do you have suggestions of what I should say? And it'll give you suggestions and you can choose whether or not to use them.
Right.
But it kind of...
You can have it adjust its tone. You can have it... Yeah.
I just like it for things like that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can help you talk through a complex problem in your own brain that you just don't really care to voice out loud, and you just kind of want to work through it.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I think it's best for neurodivergent people for when we just have difficulty just like thinking through something or like, because trying to think through problems can be overwhelming for us because we just see the whole problem and it's like, where do we start?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to use ChatGPT for.
Yep.
That's also a good segue to the other tech
I'm actually
thing.
pretty excited about this one because it seems like a really good tool, and we'll get into it. But I think it would have been an awesome tool for our teens.
So I don't know if it's an app or a web. I think it's a website, but you can like create a link to it on your homepage. But it's called Goblin Tools, and you actually just type in goblin.tools. And it'll go to there. And they actually have a lot of different tools in there. The one that I've used the most so far is the magic to-do list. So you can literally just type in anything that you need done and then hit basically the plus sign and it's just go. And I'll try to put like a screenshot of it up there on the YouTube video of this. But you type in a task that you need to complete and it will break it down into steps. And each step, even if you say look at a step and go, okay, that's still too much. How can I break that? You can hit the little magic
to break it down
next
further,
to it, and it'll break that step down further.
Okay, is there one that you can use?
Yeah,
as an example.
I actually put in. Well, there's a couple that I have in here. This is a good one that neurodivergent people or parents of neurodivergent teens can use. I typed in clean up clutter around the house. And so it breaks that down into several steps. So it has identify areas in the house that have clutter, gather storage bins or bags for organizing items, remove items from surfaces and floors in each area, sort items into categories, keep, donate, or trash, then clean the surfaces where the clutter was removed, organize the keep items in their designated places, take out the trash and items designated for donation, review each area to ensure it looks tidy, and maintain a plan to prevent further clutter.
Yeah.
And that's all
And
just
that's
from that.
like a huge project, but it just kind of gives you an idea of how it will break something down for you.
Mhm.
Gives you kind of steps to make it the more bite-sized pieces. Instead of looking at the whole picture going, I'm overwhelmed by this. What's the first thing I can do?
And you can set different levels. It's called spiciness levels. Basically, how much breaking down do you need? And it goes from 1 pepper to 5 peppers. 5 is more broken down. So that was at 3 peppers. So you can like say, hey, I need this broken down
step by step. Give me one at a time. Yeah.
And again, let's say gather storage bins or bags for organizing. Let's say you're like, wait a minute, like, give me more on that. I can click on this. It thinks for a little bit, and then boom. Assess the areas where clutter is present. Identify the types of items that need organizing. Select appropriate storage bins or bags based on size and type. Gather the chosen storage containers and prepare the containers by labeling or organizing inside if necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just
cool. Okay, so it will break down tasks for you. Are there other things that it does?
Yeah. So, other tools that they have, Formalizer. This is really good. You can just type out chaotic thoughts that you have, and it will like organize them into either classy ones or I don't know. It's not a tool I've used a lot, so I don't know a lot about that one.
We'll have to play around with that one.
Yeah, it's got judge. This is a good one. Am I misreading the tone of this? You can copy and paste someone's text or message, comment, and basically ask it to judge the tone of it.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one.
Wait,
Professor.
that's kind of funny because that's almost backwards from what I have to do with you. Like I have to take the emotion out of it and listen to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a neurodivergent person saying, what does a neurotypical person mean by this? Put some context in it for me. Yeah. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. This one's good. The Professor. Give me the crash course. You can type anything in there and it'll like give you a crash course explanation of it.
Well, that's cool.
Which is kind of, There's Consultant. What are the pros and cons? So you type something in there and it'll list pros and cons of whatever your idea is.
Okay. So if you're trying to make a decision, maybe it will help you go, okay, what's good about this and what's bad to help you make your decision or whatever the case may be. That's cool.
And it's got Estimator. Just tell me how long this is probably going to take. So you just type in whatever activity you want to do, and it will estimate approximately how long that will take.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I've used ChatGPT for that before, but I might be interested in using this too. Compiler. Compile my brain dump into a list of tasks. So it's kind of like the to-do list, but it's like you just throw a bunch of things that you need to get done, and it'll compile it into a list. So
question for you, because I haven't looked at this. Is there a like voice to text? Like, could you?
Yes, you can
do voice on that and just kind of throw your thoughts out there instead of having to type them all out.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about a brain dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there is the little mic button here that you can use to talk into it. And I'm pretty sure that's on all of these. Yep, they all have.
I like that.
You just talk.
Because sometimes it's hard to type it all out. Like that even seems overwhelming.
This is a good one that I think is especially good when we're reaching the end of the week and we need to go grocery shopping, but we don't want to go grocery shopping, but we also don't want to spend money. This is called the Chef. And you put in ingredients that you have, and it will give you a recipe that you can make with those ingredients.
Nice.
So
that's
I like
cool
that.
It has that like in one place. I've seen websites that will do something similar. Just tell me what ingredients you have, but like to have it be part of this tool is cool for the specific purpose.
So nice. that's a really cool
couple tools for you to try out, see if they benefit you in your life. Maybe you can tell us about some tools that you use and we can try them out too. We're all about making people's life easier and more manageable. So
obviously there's pros and cons of using tools like this too. We could probably use the tool to tell us those, but
probably, yeah.
But yeah, you want to be careful. Like you said with ChatGPT, it's pulling stuff from the internet, so you want to double check the sources, make sure that those are legit sources. If you're asking, for information on something,
make sure the information is accurate and make sure it reflects you. Like read through the entire thing, make sure that it doesn't misrepresent you. Don't just copy and paste make sure that you're being true to yourself.
I had that like relatively recently. I typed in something. I was like, hey, write something up like this, and it wrote it up. And I basically responded with, that doesn't sound like me. Changed the tone to whatever.
Yeah.
And it adjusted it, because it's important that they're still your words.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with, using it as a tool to help organize it in a better way. It's
right.
like the message you want to get across, and it's still your words and it's still your message, but it's just using it to help organize those words.
I think the takeaway from that is that the technology is there, and it might help people have their voice be heard better, because it's easier to understand, or right. You're able to communicate those things better with some help.
Because there's been a lot of times I've wanted to write a post about something, and especially, this is the neurodivergent thing. You get an idea, a thought, or something in your head, and it's going to keep rattling around in there and bothering you until you get it out.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that about music. I've said that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And being able to put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a thought or a post that I have, and having it put it into words, it helps you get it out.
Right.
And sometimes, I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook, because I kind of started a new Facebook page to mostly interact with just friends and family. And so probably I don't get a lot of people to read my posts. But for me, it's about getting it out of my head and just getting it out there.
Yeah.
So whether I have 2 people read my post or 30 people read my post or 1,000, I don't care. I just am getting it out of my head.
Yeah.
And putting it out there. And so, that's really helpful to be able to put that into the words that satisfy that brain itch to get it out.
Yeah.
So,
and sometimes as it's putting the thoughts together, it will give more complete reasons behind the thoughts, and you can say if it matches or not. But sometimes it makes you go, oh yeah, that is part of why I feel that way.
Yeah.
It helps you even process what those feelings or thoughts are.
Yep.
So use those as tools as you see fit, or don't. That's fine too.
Yep.
Just some suggestions we had. We wanted to throw a couple things out there to keep you guys engaged, and so we can be back with you next week
with a full episode
13, lucky 13. And that will be next Wednesday. And
hopefully everybody did have a good 4th of July.
Happy and safe.
However you celebrate. Those who are listening from not in the United States, we still hope you had a good weekend.
We still hope you had a great 4th of July.
Yeah.
Because it's really just a date.
It's like one of those, does such and such a country have 4th of July? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. We all do. We just don't all do it the same way. Yeah. So no, we do hope you all had a good weekend and a nice, relaxing week.
Yep.
So subscribe, share, whatever you do, wherever you watch or listen to us, just go ahead and share it with people.
Leave us some comments too. Yep.
Comments, reviews, any of that helps us keep things going. But we will be back with you next week. And until then, we hope you have a great week.
Yep. See you. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute medical advice. Please consult a qualified healthcare provider for diagnosis or treatment of autism or related condition.